Tonight, do gays make better parents?
One of our favorite weekly rituals is watching football.
Chad Pennington.
Debate now or forever hold your peace, right here on Crossballs.
Comedians posing as experts.
Pot is good for everyone.
Women are designed for sex.
Hunting is self-defense.
I drive drunk all the time.
Debating real people.
I'm not gay.
It's totally immoral.
Who don't know the show is fake.
That's a lie. You're an idiot. Die.
Out of the crossfire, beyond hardball. This is Crossballs.
I'm Chris Tallman. Tonight's topic, love and marriage in the 21st century. America loves Queer Eye, but are we ready for queer brides? Joining us is a pastor of First Southern Baptist of Buena Park, Reverend Wiley Drake, and a spokesman for the alternative family rights group, Marriage is Love Forever, Matt Donaldson. Thank you for being with us. Question of the day. What is the definition of marriage, and should it include gay couples? Wiley, let's begin with you.
Absolutely not. The definition of marriage is one man, one woman for life. God said Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
All right, according to Wiley, absolutely not. Matt, how do you respond?
Well, okay. Well, I think, Wiley, you could admit that God is love, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. My organization, Marriage is Love Forever. We believe that the more love there is in the world, the better the world is. The word gay means happiness, and a basic tenet of living in America is the right to pursue happiness. So that's the right to pursue being gay, and that's why all gays should get married as soon as possible.
Wiley, what do you think of that?
Well, first of all, there is nothing gay about homosexual life. The average homosexual does not exceed a life expectancy of 50 years of age. There is nothing gay in the original intent of the word.
Wait a minute. Jesus only lived to 33, so what is that supposed to mean?
Well, he was crucified. He didn't die of rupture. He did not die from he did not die from all the other things that
I think he did get reamed a little bit.
No.
Yeah,
no.
they put some thorns there.
No.
The Bible needs to be amended, not our Constitution. Do you agree with that?
No.
Now we need a newer testament, which will now become the New Testament. The New Testament becomes the Old Testament, and the Old Testament will become the Oldest Testament.
Wiley, should we change the Bible to accommodate the change of life in the 21st century?
Absolutely not. What was right when the Bible was written thousands of years ago, don't interrupt me, please. At least be halfway gentleman if you're whatever you are.
All right, we don't need to get nasty.
Well, the Bible makes it very clear that if a man lays down with a man or a woman with a woman, it's wrong.
We're all gay, whether you like it or not.
I'm not gay.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
We're gay at different degrees. I'm a 9, you're about a 3 or a 4.
Now, we have footage from a TV special on gay marriage. This is the Clark household, where 2 gay men are raising their adopted 8-year-old son.
Everyone on the block was so concerned when we adopted Charles. Everyone was so convinced we tried to make him gay.
Like that was the point. Find a kid and make him gay. That's what gays do.
I know. But we teach him everything. We take him bowling, we take him hiking. He loves jazzercise. And people think that's gay. Like there's something gay about jazz and exercise.
Right?
You know, if we change the definition of marriage to include gays, are we starting down a slippery slope? Where do we draw the line?
Well, first off, let me say that I am in a polyamorous relationship myself.
How many people are in your relationship? I want to understand this.
Besides me, there's 6.
What are the benefits of that?
What's the #1 reason that people get divorced? It's because people get bored with their mate and they want to move on and try something different. Believe me, that's not happening in my house. I'm getting something different every night.
That's fine.
I am. Different positions, different places.
We don't need to hear about that anymore. All right, next, we're joined in the audience by Matt Donaldson's fiancés. Now, would you like to, I guess, introduce your partners?
Yes, we're all engaged right now, and there they are in the front row. Wave your hand, guys. That's JD right there. He's the sharpshooter. That's Tanner. He's good with knives. That's Miguel. He drives the car. That's Francisco. He's a second-story man. That's Bruno. Bruno, how are you doing? Bruno's the tough guy. He's a fighter. He likes to mix it up. And that's my brother, Geraldo.
Hi. Your brother?
Yes, we're all engaged, and we haven't planned a date. It's going to be early next fall. But Wiley, I think you can look at these people and see there's nothing wrong with them. We're all in love, and we'd like you to come over and eat dinner with us sometime.
Thank you for the invitation, but I believe I'll decline.
So anybody
I think if you gave us a big group hug, you would feel differently right now.
I'm sure I wouldn't.
Come on,
I
hold
think
my
it-
hand. Jesus would.
No, he wouldn't.
Yes, he
no,
would.
he wouldn't.
Jesus would hold my
Why
hand.
wouldn't he?
Jesus is upset with him because he's chosen the devil's lifestyle.
What's wrong with incest? That started back in a time people had a problem with it because it created mutant babies. But now we have condoms. We have artificial insemination. If a brother loves a brother, if a brother loves a sister, why can't they get married? You can't be pro-family only so far, Wiley.
Pro-family according to God and
There's
God's
nothing
word.
more pro-family than incest.
What Jesus said was, one man, one woman, that's what we stood by, and that's what will produce
Wait a
a
minute, who
healthy
were
society.
Adam and Eve? Weren't they brother and sister? They seem to get along pretty well.
All right.
Touche. If there's consent with everyone entering into the marriage, everyone's an adult, there's nothing wrong with any of those you said, including bestiality. Bestiality is fine if there's consent.
How can you get consent from an animal?
There are a lot of apes these days who can use sign language to
come on.
communicate. We have learned how to communicate with dolphins. They might say, yes, they can my blowhole.
Oh,
I
come
don't
on,
care.
stop. That's
It's
preposterous.
consent. There can be a horse that goes, yes, I want to get married.
No, stop it. Next up, here comes the bride and here comes the divorce lawyer. Why do so many straight marriages end badly?
That's a heck of a divorce incentive.
That's prostitution. Is that what you're suggesting women are?
Stick to it. With divorce rates so high, should everyone get engagement rings or should marriage get the finger? Joining us is the founder of the Divorce Forum and author of 101 Divorce Secrets, a survival guide, Susan Allen. Also with us is a pastor and spokesman for Marriage Defenders, Andrew Richards. Here's the big issue. Why are divorce rates higher than ever? Susan, let's begin with you.
Marriage was created at a time when women desperately needed someone to help. They needed to be protected. There were financial issues. But women have come a long way since then. So marriage isn't the necessity that it used to be.
All right, Andrew, what do you think about that?
When you are getting married to someone, what you are doing is you are acknowledging and you are embracing God's will that these two souls be united for eternity. And when you divorce, what you are saying is, you know what? God's will didn't work out so great for me, right? So think of it this way. If you go to a restaurant and you order a steak and the steak isn't as delicious as you thought it would be, you cannot send it back and say, bring me some lobster. You need to eat the steak and hope that the dessert that God provides you in heaven is better, okay?
Well, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I
Great.
desperately want couples to find the right partner and to be happy with each other and to base their marriage on unconditional love.
But sometimes that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
For example, what about, God forbid, an abusive relationship?
Perfect love is a bit of a myth. It's something that was created by French troubadours and noblemen, you know, and it's the stuff of poetry. And when people say, I'm trapped in a loveless marriage, it's the same as saying I'm trapped in a ghostless marriage or an Easter bunnyless marriage. We're talking about something that does not fully exist in the real world.
Is that
And
true?
stick it out through the world.
True love, romantic love does not exist?
Now,
Of
it's
course
very
it does.
interesting.
Of course it does. True love. Listen, I've been married to my wife for more than 40 years. Our marriage is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
I'll bet it's not.
But
bet
we
it's not.
decided we were going to make it work, and marriage will work and
You're
can
talking
be
about
rebuilt.
bringing dildos into the bedroom, Wiley. I know what he's saying.
Stop that.
You're a sick bird.
Let me finish. What about when there's kids involved in a relationship? Sometimes, yes, it's difficult, but you have to stick through it for the sake of the kids, right?
What is wrong with some fighting in a family scenario? We want our kids to be around fights because what are people saying? What are people saying when they're arguing? What they're really saying is, I care. They're saying it loudly to one another, you know?
What you are describing really fills me with tremendous fear. What every human being is looking for is peace.
Let's move on. When 50% of marriages end in divorce, how can couples stay together? Does counseling really work?
My group, Marriage Defenders, has a federally funded grant through the Defense of Marriage Act, and we are developing different strategies. I have something that I call the Acting Out program, which I came up with while directing a church nativity play. I'm sure Wiley has a lot of experience with that. Anyway, the concept is, it's based on the scientific principle that someone who is chronically unhappy, if they just smile several times a day, just use the smile muscles of their face, it will change their body chemistry and they will become happier. So the idea of the Act Out program is play the role of a happy couple. Commit. Hold on a moment, please. Commit to that reality, and before you know it, you will be that. It's called fake it till you make it, and it works.
All right, Susan, I want to get your response to this, but first, I think we have a demonstration. We have some home video footage of Pastor Richards leading one of these acting out therapy sessions. Let's take a look, and then we'll get your comment on it.
When I walked in on him cheating on me with that woman from the grocery store, I just, I guess I just felt so hurt and betrayed, you know, like I was sort of disrespected.
Okay. Let me stop you here because you're getting into a troublesome area. You're talking about something that was really negative, and you're using negative terms to talk about it, right? So that gets us nowhere. Let's try talking about it a little more positively. I want you to say great and. I want you to start every sentence with great and a positive, okay? So let's just, Rob, just state the fact of what you did, okay? And then.
I slept with Lucy from the grocery store.
Can you respond?
Great. It's really hard for me to say great after that.
Okay, but that's the exercise. So let's just try it. Let's just try it. Just
Great. And it made me feel like less of a person, and like our marriage was a lot.
Let me stop you because you're not adding a positive, okay? You're just great and add a positive thought to it, right?
I really can't think of anything positive to say.
Okay, no problem. How about let me give you one. He says I cheated on you, right? You say great, and seeing you with that other woman reminded me of the early lustful days of our relationship, you know?
Or great, and our relationship is so strong, this isn't worth talking about.
But I don't believe that to be true. I think this is very worth talking about.
But that's good. Do you see how Rob is doing it?
Great,
He's saying,
and we have many good times to look forward to, which are going to be great.
He worked it in twice. He said great twice.
All right, are there benefits to a program like this? Susan?
That's one of the most shocking demonstrations I've ever seen for one simple reason. I honestly just don't believe it works. I believe that those two could very easily reconnect.
Positive thinking sells a lot of books, but it don't work.
Oh, it does work.
It don't work.
Sure it does.
It don't work.
Do you have anything that works?
All of these methods work. I have another method that we take aggressive behavior and we turn it into passive-aggressive behavior, which is just a moment. Passive-aggressive is a term that has been made negative by the psychoanalytical community. Let's take a young couple where he cheats on her, all right? She can either go crazy and throw pots and pans and storm out of the house, or she can not bake him a fresh pie for an entire summer, and he'll get the message.
Is passive-aggressive a solution to anything?
I'm really amazed. Now, he'll go out and he'll get pies elsewhere, and he'll get laid elsewhere.
Next up, it's a nice day for a pricey wedding. Meet a woman who believes just saying I do just won't do.
You should spend 2 years' salary on the wedding ceremony.
More Crossballs. We'll be returning. Why are weddings so expensive? With us now via satellite is a wedding planner and columnist for Notable Bride magazine, Mary Kimball. Now, Mary, does the wedding industry prey on brides' emotions?
Not at all, Chris, not at all. Look, there are 3 very important days in every woman's life. Now, that includes her prom, her wedding day, and the day her first child is born. I also plan proms, by the way. And I'll tell you something, weddings are falling apart. It's just horrible. Do you know that brides are buying their wedding dresses at clearance sales? Now, that's just wrong, and it's sad. It's all just going to hell in a handbasket, and there isn't even a little flower girl to carry that handbasket. And it's just a horrible thing that's happening. Now, what people don't realize is that a wedding ceremony and a wedding is a contract between 2 families, bringing 2 tribes together. Now, in the old days, that would include a dowry. That would be cattle or goats or what have you. Nowadays, that dowry is the engagement ring, is the wedding ceremony itself. Now, cheap weddings cheapen marriage, and that's true.
Wiley, is that true?
Absolutely not. The reason weddings have been degraded is because they've been taken out of the church. We do beautiful weddings in our church. We have beautiful dresses, and they cost almost nothing. When I do a wedding in my church, they usually give me about $100 honorarium, and that is the highest price thing on the wedding.
Well, let me tell you something. It all starts with the engagement ring. And if a groom doesn't clear out his bank account to buy his wife-to-be a beautiful gem engagement ring, then he's dooming his marriage. And that's the truth.
You know, different people have different concerns. And one of the things I teach is Herman Brain Dominance, which talks about the 4 different thinking styles. So some people find money and possessions most important.
Lavish weddings do not end in divorce. I'll give you a couple of examples. The royals, Princess Diana and Charles. Now, that wedding seemed lavish. It seemed so beautiful. It was paltry. It was paltry when you consider the kind of money those people have at their disposal. If they had spent the proper amount of money, they would have had a marriage that had lasted, and perhaps ultimate tragedy could have been avoided. That
Do not talk about Princess Di like that.
That is absolutely horrible. I can't believe you're actually suggesting that tragedy could have been avoided if they just spent another $1 trillion on a wedding.
Well, we'll never get to find out because Prince Charles was too cheap, all right?
This kind of attitude toward weddings that are lavish, that doesn't make the marriage last longer. It makes wedding planners and people that sell wedding dresses for thousands of dollars that should be worth a couple of $100. The wedding planners are the one that are being loved the most. The one that gets the most money are people that plan the wedding.
It does sound like...
I'm sorry, you get $100 for every wedding, don't you?
All right, coming up, one of the most controversial couples in the world. You gotta see it to believe it. More Crossballs when we return. On the next Crossballs. Should we shoot foreigners into space?
They'll be moon patriots.
I hardly even need to debate this guy. He just speaks for himself.
You could be an alien for all I know.
It's time for Foul Ball, where we take a look at something that's completely out of bounds. Joining us now is a spokesman for the Animists' Rights League, Jerry Franklin. Now, Mr. Franklin, why don't you go ahead and tell America what animism is?
Well, Chris, animist, which I am, believe that a soul or a spirit exists in everything, be it a person, be it a plant, or an object, an inanimate object. You know, I like to give this example. Chris, have you ever named your car or your favorite hat?
Sure, people do that all the time.
Or your walking stick?
Yeah.
Or your wallet or your shoe?
Yeah, we get it, yes.
We love things. We have committed, loving relationships with inanimate objects.
You're so committed about this, you're actually, you're sort of fighting for the right to get married as well, is that right?
You know, if we as a society are making it so hard for 2 human beings of the same sex to get married, then what does that say to a woman that wants to get married to a table, or a man that wants to get married to a tree with a woodpecker hole in it?
All right, well, let me bounce this around the panel. Wiley, what's your response to this?
Well, it's the age-old Baal worship, worshiping the object rather than God.
Know, when you know that you can marry somebody in a coma? Did you know that?
Yes, of course.
You can marry somebody in a coma, and yet you can't marry the life support system that keeps them alive. How stupid is that? Now, you call me a freak? The life support system is doing much more than that person that's laying there.
That's exactly what it is. It's Baalism.
You don't know what you're talking about.
If they're in love, they're in love, Wiley. Look at you with your Bible. You haven't stopped molesting it the whole night.
All right, let's settle down. Let's get this under control. Jerry, just...
Yeah, I don't need the gay guy's help, by the way.
All right, listen, let's keep your homophobia to yourself.
Wiley.
What do you think about that, Susan?
I'm really wondering which of your needs is met by this relationship, and you haven't specified what object it is that you are married to. So I would be interested to know that if I could.
Well, then why don't we just...
Why does it matter? If he's in love with it, let him be in love with it. Like they said earlier about the tree with the woodpecker hole. I see why that would be something alive.
Well, you know what, I'll tell you, I think what this man is doing is so wrong that the Bible doesn't even say not to do it. You know what I mean?
Let's go ahead and make our introductions. Mr. Franklin, let's welcome your loving partner to the show. All right, go ahead, let's see it.
Okay.
This is a cup of minestrone soup.
It's a cup of minestrone soup, and I do have a relationship with it. And you know what? This isn't just a physical thing. I am in love with the essence of this soup. Animists are in love with the essence of objects.
All right, Jerry, I want you to be honest with me right now. Is this a sex thing? Is that what this is?
Yes, there's a part of it is sex, but it's not just sex.
All right, so, Susan, you see it's a cup of soup. Does it make more sense now?
I feel extremely confused. Which of his needs is met? But I'm not saying it's wrong or bad. That's the difference.
Well, in that American Pie movie, they had a physical relationship.
You know what? I resent that. Gay-mo, listen, I don't need your help. That was not a consensual relationship. That pie was raped.
What?
Okay? If you saw the movie, and I went to go see the movie, and everybody told me about it, and I thought that it was for our cause. I thought it was an animist movie. And I look at that, and I see this kid pick up a pie that didn't ask to be picked up and stick his penis in it. That makes me upset. That denigrates what we're about. We're not about that. This is a consensual relationship. I don't do anything to...
It might be alphabet soup.
Exactly.
They don't care, so I'm sorry.
Jerry, how does it work with you in the soup?
All right. I bet this will drive you crazy. Okay. Ow! Oh, you burn me, bitch!
All right, stop it! Stop doing it!
You do not burn me!
We will see you next time when more experts get caught between the crossballs. Good night.
In Reno, crime doesn't pay.
Hurry, sir!
But it will get you on TV.
Congratulations, you're under arrest. Number one, can you please step forward and sing the first line of Amazing Grace?
Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound.
Can I make my phone call?
Who are you gonna call?
Your mama. Are you ready for your close-up?
You that guy from Reno 911, both of y'all. I understand my rights, officer, and it's a pleasure to be arrested by you.
Reno 911. Back on the beat. Wednesday night at 10:30 on Comedy Central.